We have breaking news. Let's get right to it.
Past 24 hours, we've seen 34 new cases of COVID-19 here in Utah.
Following breaking news out of Utah, a magnitude 5.7 earthquake hitting just after 7 a.m. local time, about 10 miles west of Salt Lake City.
We need 100 to 150,000 tests a day.
What is going on in the world? Isolation20 Podcast. Welcome to episode number 70. Hopefully you're having the day you deserve. Hopefully you're feeling good. Hopefully you're feeling great. Good vibrations to you and yours. I need a new candle. As I lit this one, I was like, man, it's time for a new candle. That's part of the reason why I like candles, is because I like the vibe that it brings. I grew up in a household where we lit incense, we lit candles, we set a mood. My dad was a mood setter growing up, and I didn't really realize it until I was an adult. It's like, yo, you are not only like a music curator with being a DJ, but also a mood setter with the tone of your house, the tone of your studio, the tone of your desk at work, whatever it is. Like, you have to set that tone. And I didn't really realize it until I got my own space and the different vibes that I tried to bring inside the studio. I got a salt rock that is back in the back corner. The different lights in here, right? The mood. I try to set a mood, right? I try to make you feel comfortable, warm, inviting. So hopefully that's what you feel. Hopefully you're having that type of feeling today. Man, we're gonna be jumping into not a whole lot. You know, it might be a little quick Isolation20 podcast. Got a lot of things going on out in the real world, right? In the wild, if you will. But I am gonna hold off on telling you about that just yet. I know I'm an open book. I know that we are very transparent here on Isolation20 Podcast, but I gotta wait. I gotta wait a little bit, and then I'll give you some insight on what I mean. I know that's kind of vague and stupid. I hate it when podcasters do that, but hey, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create a reel that's like everything podcasters say that is annoying, but we all do it, right? Later on in the show, we'll have What's That Noise? A lady, this lady at the bar, she really pissed me off, and I'll tell you about that. That's coming up. And then down in front news, yes, we went and seen Scream 6, and I got to shine some light on one of my favorite podcasts and one of my favorite team members and bosses, the One Up podcast. So I'll tell you about that. UFC 287, we'll talk about that, and then of course the NBA play-in tournament. But I had the opportunity to sit down and actually play video game lately. So recently, man, when was this? Was this last week? No, this was Friday night. And Friday nights, it's reserved for Friday Night SmackDown with my son Tavian. He's really into it right now. So it's kind of like, if dad's not working, right? If dad's not out there making shmoney, it's a Friday night. We usually have a nice little dinner. It might be pizza or something, and we watch Friday Night SmackDown. And this week was a little bit special because my son, he's just a solid kid. If you watch the Unrestricted podcast when he was on there, you'll know what I mean. He's just a solid kid. He's very selfless. He isn't a kid that is rude. He's still a kid, right? He still has his days of kidness, if you will. But overall, man, he doesn't think about himself. He thinks about his brother and his sister. He thinks about his parents, right? At school, he's always including, right? If there was an inclusion group at school, he would be a part of it. He'd be the president of the inclusion council. But he's a solid kid, you know. Me and his mom wanted to show him that, right? We wanted to show him that we appreciate him and give him a little present, because we haven't done the whole little work chart kind of thing, which I'm working on. We went to the dollar store and everything like that to build this chart of like, okay, if you do all this work for the day, you get, the allowance or whatever. Right now, we're just kind of like, yo, you helped out with taking the trash out. You helped change a diaper. You helped, watch the kids in the bathtub and, so on and so forth. So we'll give you some here and there. We'll buy you what, things here and there. But I want it to be more structured. Me and his mom wanted to be more structured. So Friday, during SmackDown, it was probably about 8:00 at night. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go take a shower. And so I left the front room, and so I went into his bedroom, and I went and I downloaded the new WWE 2023 game, and because he's been talking about it, right? He's been seeing the commercials. Oh man, it would be awesome to play that game. That game looks so fun, right? That looks really cool, right? I'm like, yeah, it does. It looks awesome. And I remember when I first got my first WWE game, it was like No Mercy on N64, and the worst graphics ever, but it was my favorite wrestlers. It was The Brood. It was The Rock, Mankind, Triple H. It was everybody, right? The Hell in the Cell, I think it was the debut of the Hell in the Cell that you could play on, or, use a chair or whatever. And I remember the feeling that I got when I got that game. It was just like the best thing ever, right? And so I was like, oh man, like being a parent now, we're able to recreate the moments that meant the most to us as kids. So whatever that is to you, whatever your parents did with you or to you or for you, and it brought you those butterflies, it brought you that emotion of just like you were the happiest kid ever. You have that opportunity to bring that back to your kids now. And I really didn't realize that I was about to do that. I didn't really realize me making the purchase, buying this video game. Oh, and mind you, earlier in the week, maybe about 2 weeks ago, I ordered his favorite wrestler's mask, Rey Mysterio Jr. And so I ordered that mask, and it came into the mail. And my idea was, okay, I'm going to get him the game, and then I'm going to give him the mask, right? So Friday night, I go into the bedroom, I download the game, and it takes forever to install. Parents, if you have to install a game on the PS5 or the Xbox 360 or whatever, make sure you do it maybe the night before, because this thing took literally about 8 hours to download fully and install everything fully. So, but thank goodness he was able to play during the installation. So I download the game, and I grab the package up with his mask in it, and I write a little note. And the note was very simple. It was something along the lines of, hey, we love you. We appreciate what you do for the family. Your hard work doesn't go unnoticed, right? Same thing I would tell an employee of mine. You know what I mean? Show somebody that you appreciate them. Sometimes I feel like we forget that our kids need that type of reassurance as well, and that love and that type of stuff as well, right? So I tell them, I wrote a note, and I was just like, hey, we appreciate you. Keep doing a great job. We love you. P.S. Go in the bedroom and turn on your TV. So he opens up the package, and he sees the mask, and he's like, what? Oh man, that's cool. And then I was like, oh, where's the note? And he looks at the note, he reads the note, and he's like, what? And so he goes into the bedroom and he turns it on, and who's there? Roman Reigns versus John Cena. While the game was loading, you could play it with these guys. And he's like, what? Oh man. And I was like, you like it? He's like, I love it. You know what I mean? And I leave the room, and he starts crying, just tears of joy, just really cool, emotional joy. And I don't want to get emotional like recreating this moment, but it was this moment where like that you're like doing a good job as a dad, and sometimes you don't know. And man, he had a great time. He played the game. He stuck on it. Like today, I'm recording this on the normal Tuesday at 4:41 p.m. He actually just called me before I started recording. He was like, Dad, guess what? And I was like, what? He's like, I unlocked Kane. I was like, what? Little does he know, I unlocked Kane for him, and Andre the Giant and Undertaker. I unlocked them for him today. But yeah, man, it was a really cool moment. And it's just like, man, what's the next thing that how can I make him feel like that again? Right? Like, what's the next thing to make him feel like that? So, yeah, man, it's just a really cool moment as a father. And, sometimes I feel like we forget about those moments that we have to recreate, man. Recreate those moments, man. Bring your kids as much joy as possible. We're not here for a long time, so make it a good time. Man, enough of the mushy shit. All right, I'm sorry. Let's jump into what's that noise.
Are you sick of podcasts that just interview people with the same questions and gossiping nonsense?
Are you tired of hearing about what's wrong with the world? Can you locate your nearest orphanage?
Who cooked the Last Supper?
R.I.P. Mr. Potato Head.
Seppuku Harakiri.
Where is Mavis Beacon?
This is Hos.
And this is host Beefy.
Listen to the Beans and Rice podcast.
Exclusively in Braille and all streaming platforms.
Patent pending.
What?
What?
What is that noise? 385-240-4666 is the number for what's that noise. If you can guess what the noise is, you can win $50. And I think we got a voice note here. Let's go ahead and play it real quick. Mr. Voice Note, let's go.
Yes, this is Geraldine Harvey, and I want to guess what that noise was of the crinkly crank. I believe the noise is the noise of you being a dickhead and putting these noises up and making it impossible for us to figure it out. So my final guess is you unraveling a paper to let us know you're a dickhead. And we'll never get this right. Ever. Geraldine Harvey, bitch.
Geraldine Harvey, you need to call in more often. We missed hearing your awful voice. Crinkling up some paper is not right, by the way. 385-240-4666 is the number for what's that noise. Can you tell me what this noise is? Maybe. The sound of me being a dickhead is incorrect. Get your guesses in now. 385-240-4666 is the number. If you can get it right, I'll send you some shmoney.
Hey, Dre, would you calm down for a moment and just let me talk? Just at this point, you're just rambling, all right? What's up, everybody? I go by the name of Will Wonder, and I have a podcast called The Will Wonder Pod. I know, super original name, but I promise you'll love it. We talk sports, we talk music, and generally have some really interesting interviews with people that are doing some really cool things. So make sure you check it out wherever you get your podcast. Once again, that is The Will Wonder Pod. All right, Dre, go on about your business, whatever the fuck you were talking about.
The name says it all.
You know my name.
This is Are You Dumb?
So I'm at a bar named Sue, 8136 South State Street for UFC 286, I believe it was. My normal duty, right? I've been DJing there for 10 years. And this is my routine, guys. I literally go to work. I set up my turntables a little bit early, right? Just a couple hours early, especially during the fight, so I can have some dinner, sit down, watch the fight, talk to some of the people at the bar. If my homies come through, we sit back, we chat, we hang out. Well, there was nothing different about this Saturday, and so I go to Sue's and I set up my turntables and I go to the bar and I get a beverage, right? Just a nice little seltzer, I believe it was, and I'm there, I'm watching the fights and I'm watching NCAA going on, and a lady next to me, she goes, "Oh my gosh, your hair is so long. Did you braid it yourself?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "That is the perfect braid." And she was like, "I love your hair." And then she started to touch my hair. And she was like making comments that were curious, right, about ethnic hair. But she was saying it in a way that was very offensive. And I personally, I know when I'm offended and I know when I'm not offended. I know when somebody, in my opinion, is being direct and purposely offensive versus somebody that is saying something and just curious and not meaning it in an offensive way. This situation was the not so violent one, right? Not the aggressive one. It was one where she was just genuinely curious because she's in cosmetology school. She does hair for a living. And she was curious about my hair and about how I did it and what I did to it because she couldn't get a good braid. So I've had this before. I've had this before where people, if I have my hair out, whatever, they instantly feel like they have, if they're curious, they feel like they need to touch it. They feel like they have to ask questions that are very inappropriate. And that's what happened Saturday. I didn't feel threatened. I didn't feel anything, but I was very disappointed with myself because at no point was I like, hey, that's offensive, right? I should have spoke up. Instead, I kindly was like, oh, thank you very much. And I kind of moved away from her, right? And I moved away and I moved to the other side of the bar where some regulars are at that I know. And they even seen what happened too. And they're like, yo, did she really just say and touch your hair? And like, they got mad too. And I was like, yeah, but she didn't mean it offensively, right? She's just curious. And it probably didn't help that she's, boozed up. But it's just another learning lesson for anybody out there that is curious about another culture or about somebody's imaging and stuff like that. Because I'm sure I've done it before. I'm sure I've looked at somebody and been like, yo, like, why do you have that face tattoo? Or why do you have, that your hair is that color or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure I've done something like that. I'm sure that I've said something offensive based upon somebody else's appearance because I was ignorant to it and I didn't know and I was curious, but I didn't mean no harm by it. I wasn't coming at them in a harmful way, and neither did this young lady. But I wish I would have told that young lady, hey, that's offensive and this is why, right? And the reason why it's offensive is because I'm born this way, right? Like, I'm born this way. I'm born with this hair. I'm born with this skin color. I'm born with this voice. I'm born with, my eyebrow. I'm born this way. Like, this is how I'm born. You know what I mean? I can't, it's not like I was like, I want thick hair. I want long hair. I want, brown hair. It's not, I had no choice in this, right? And I feel like, and I'm only going to speak for myself. The reason why I think it's offensive is because I didn't choose it, right? And it's just a part of me. Now, if she would have been like, if she would have asked me, hey, I'm in college cosmetology school. I really like the way that you braided your hair. What did you do, right? How did you do it? Or who do you go to do your hair, right? It's a little bit different than how does it get so thick and like this kind of stuff. It's like, what? Excuse me? No, don't ask me those type of questions. That's very inappropriate, young lady. And I wish I would have took a second, been more clear-headed and explained to her a little bit more, because unfortunately, because I didn't say something, she's going to do it again to somebody else, and that next person might not be as nice, and it could be detrimental for her. And I wish I would have said something at that time. Hopefully it never happens again, but if it does, I definitely got to speak up. And I don't know, I think the reason why I didn't speak up is because, one, it's my place of business, and two, I think it was because where I was at, right? The bar is one of those places where you can say whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. And what I mean by that is, if you confront somebody, that person might feel like they need to defend themselves, even though I'm not coming at them in a way that's attacking. They might still feel attacked, and when you feel attacked and you have booze in you, that's a mixture for disaster. And I don't want to be in a position where I have to defend myself physically because they took something the wrong way, right? So, man, just a lot of things were going on right there, and I was just like, man, I kicked myself in the ass. Right after I moved to the other side of the bar, I was like, man, I should have told this young lady how to do it. And the way I would do it now, if that happened tomorrow, I would probably offer them a drink, right? Because she wasn't like sloshed or anything. Like, she was just enjoying her beverage or whatever. I probably would have bought her a drink and been like, hey, congratulations on cosmetology school. I really didn't like the way that you approached me about that and the things that you said about that, about my hair and about me, and this is why. And it's not that I took offense to it. It's that this is considered offensive, right? This is considered, and I'm trying to save you for the future, right? I want to give you a learning lesson right now. And I feel like when you come from different cultures, that's the cool thing about America, is that we brush shoulders with so many different cultures. And I'm not talking about people that come from different countries. I'm talking about cultures within the United States, cultures that we're brought up in, right? And I don't know. It's just, it's a tricky thing where I wish I would have stood up and said something. But hey, You win some, you lose some. You live to fight another day. Hey Alexa, can you show me a new barber?
Don't worry, I got you.
Boogie Down Barbershop in Taylorsville is now open. Anything from gentleman's cuts, taper, fade, or if you want to treat yourself to a nice hot towel shave, Boogie Down Barbershop has you covered. Cuts for men and kids. Book your appointment today at boogiedownbarbershop.com.
And now the movie review segment you didn't ask for. It's down in front.
So Friday was such a good day, man. It was a beautiful day. It was St. Patrick's Day. We went to Molly's Donuts. Molly's is located on 33rd South and State Street if you're in the local Salt Lake City area. If you're not, I don't think they have any others outside the state, but if you ever come to Utah, check out Dolly's Donuts. It's a donuts and bar. It's weird. It's like a donut bar, breakfast sandwich shop, espresso. They got everything. And we went there one time to buy a dozen of donuts. Just buy some donuts for the family, right? And we actually won a golden ticket. So we're in the drawing to win a trip to Hawaii. We found a golden ticket. If they pull my name out of this hat or whatever, we go to Hawaii. It's a round trip to Hawaii for 2 people. Pretty cool. So we're like, man, their customer service was great. So we went back and we're like, St. Patrick's Day, Tavian has off. It's a teacher pass by day or something like that. And Tressa took the day off, and so I was like, hey, I'll take the day off too. So I took the day off. We're like, all right, let's go get breakfast, and then we'll go watch Scream 6 because wifey's been wanting to watch it. Tavian's in the ghost face. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we Friday we go, St. Patrick's Day, we go to Dolly's Donuts and Bar. Of course, in green, right? In green, bumping that Murphy and the Giant. Oh, for those of you that don't know, I helped write an Irish folk rock album. Yeah, well, 2 songs off the album, but I still did my due diligence and I did my part, and I wrote a fire song, and I love every moment of it. You know what? Let me see if I can pull up the song. I know I'm bouncing all over the place right now. We'll get into Scream 6 here shortly, but a lot of people, when I tell them I guess I'm connected over here. When I tell people that I've wrote music for an Irish folk band, they're like, what? No, you didn't. Shut up. I'm like, yeah. They're called Murphy and the Giant, and they're really, really awesome. And one of my really good friends, Daniel O'Connor, I just call him O'Connor. Me and O'Connor have been friends for, what was that? Since 2008, 2009, something like that. Something around us that time. So we've been friends for damn near 13 years. And at first we weren't friends. We were both working at a place called ACS, which is a call center in Sandy, Utah. And it was an awful call center, by the way. And my supervisor, she sat me in this seat, not knowing that it was actually his seat. He just came in later in the day. So I'm sitting in his seat, and every time he came into work, I was sitting in his seat, right? And so he was kind of like, man, like this dude's take my seat. You know what I mean? Like in call centers, the seat matters. Even though it doesn't matter, it matters, right? So every time he would come into work, he would see me, and he'd just give me the stank eye. And I seen him come in with a guitar one day. I'm like, yo, you jam out? You play? He's like, yeah. And so we just started talking music. And then at the time, I'm like rapping, quotations, shout out to the YouTube gang that's in that. I rapping, right? So I'm like, yo, throw me a beat. And he give me a little funky little beat, and I'll start rapping right there in the call center floor, right? That's how I used to try to pick up the girls, right? Look, I could freestyle to a beat. And so and he was trying to impress some girls on the floor too or whatnot. Like, I know how to play the guitar, right? He was doing the same shit. So we would jam out. And then it got to the point where, you know, he was like, man, I think I'm gonna put this thing up. I think I'm gonna give it up. I think I'm done trying to make music. And I was like, bro, are you kidding me? You are one of the greatest musicians I've ever heard. I was like, no, that's not happening, bro. And at the time, this is when I started to get involved with LTA, Lake Town Affiliates, and I had a deal with them. I had a 1-album deal and never came out, but I wrote a bunch of music for LTA. And so I was like, man, we got a studio. I was like, come over, just vibe out. And so That was later on down the line. O'Connor ends up recording music and songs, and I'm loving the music that he's playing, and so I'm like, man, can I help out? Can I like write some music and whatnot? And he showed me this song that he's writing, and I instantly was like, yo, I got the lyrics. I wrote them on lunch. I wrote it on my lunch break. And we end up meeting during our lunch break, and I'm like, yo, this is it. And so he's playing, and we end up writing this song right here. This is the self-titled song, Murphy and the Giant. They released it on iTunes in 2018, but I feel like we recorded this in like 2014, 15 maybe, something like that. But Murphy and the Giant, make sure you check them out on all streaming platforms. That's all he had, was just that guitar portion. Murphy and the Giant.
Well, we were there to celebrate. We had an early start. Oh, Johnny on his second drink and Murphy on his fourth. The night was going mighty.
The funny thing,
there was joy and laughter till Murphy stumbled to a man so
very large in stature. The funny thing about this song is we literally just talking about a man at like the Piper Down, right? Literally at Piper Down, the biggest Irish pub in Utah, right? And we're telling the story about Murphy fighting a giant in the bar, and then you end up defeating the guy, and that's where you find the love. Nothing has been more true. We'll drink all the whiskey and down all the brew. Fire. So we wrote that song, right? We wrote that song. And the funny thing about this song too is, let me see if I can skip ahead a little bit. So O'Connor, an Irish American, right? When we were recording this song, there's a bridge part where we all go, oi, 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 right? Drink all the whiskey and down all the brew, oi, oi, oi. And let me see if I can find that part. Let's see. That part right there. The oi, oi, ois. So we were at Rock Solid Studios. Rock Solid Studios. We're there. We're recording it, right? And I'm like, it needs something. It needs something. It needs something. It needs something. And so we end up hitting and getting in the studio. And I'm like, the ois. We needed to feel large. We needed to feel so much larger than just him and me singing the oi, oi, ois. Well, at the time on LTA Records, we had a young man. He's old now. One of my really good friends, Rui, aka Big Flips, who is straight from São Paulo, Brazil, sings the oi, oi, ois. So you got me, that's black and Mexican. You got my Brazilian really good friend, Rui, and we got O'Connor, Irish American, and we're all on this Irish folk rock song. The illest studio session. We had the Jameson, right? It was great. It was such a cool moment in time. And then I did this one right here. It's called Dance the Night Away. This one right here was that dancing song, because we're like, we need that dancing song. When I think about Irish folk rock, when I think about Flogging Molly, you know what I mean? Dropkick Murphys, right? Like that real high energy, right? And so we came up with this one right here. So good, man. So good. And we had a lot of fun recording this one too. This one was at a different studio though, if I remember right.
Whoa, dance the night away.
Whoa, dance the night away. Whoa,
Dance the night away. Whoa, dance the night away.
tell us it's been done before, now we should quit. Play more stupid, willing to submit. We possess is something you can change. Still remain the same. Challenges we face almost every single day will make you second guess yourself and come on, man. Listen to this right here. Seeing all the, taking all away. Oh, so better days. Change starts within ourselves. Friends come and play. Dance the night away. So the whole purpose of this song was O'Connor would always tell me in our whole friendship, right? He would always tell me, St. Patrick's Day, Dre, we are all Irish. He said, no matter what, we are all Irish. We are all one. And he used to always say this at his gigs. He'd be by himself up there with his guitar. He'd be at a coffee shop. I forget what's sundown, whatever. I don't forget what the coffee shop was called. But my really good friend up there by himself with a guitar. And he tells everybody in the coffee shop, hey, tonight we're all Irish. Tonight we paint the walls green. And then he plays songs. And I was like, we need to capture that. We need to capture that togetherness, that moment of togetherness, right? That moment of, it doesn't matter if you're a different shade. It doesn't matter if you come from a different background. Today, in this moment, while I'm up here playing this music, we are one. And so that's what Dance the Night Away came. That's where that came from. Change starts within yourself. So friend, come and play, right? So it's like, if you're at the bar by yourself and you're just sitting there and you're wondering why black people got thick hair, leave that alone. Come to over here. Come on the dance floor. Come dance the night away. And that's exactly what came about when we recorded that song. And man, O'Connor, I can't say enough about O'Connor, man. That dude is definitely a perfectionist, because the songs that we wrote were recorded recorded and mastered like 2 or 3 times over. Can't tell you how much money that guy wasted. Well, not wasted, because it was a great product, right? But definitely check out Murphy and the Giant. So long-winded answer, our story to Friday. Murphy and the Giant's playing in the car, right? It's St. Patrick's Day. We got our green on. We go to Dolly's Donuts. We get what did I get? I got the Denver omelet. Wifey got, what did wifey get? Wifey got like hash brown. Oh, she got a waffle. Ooh, and waffle was fire too. She let me have a bite. Smoking. Tavian got a egg sausage and egg croissant. I thought it was gonna be some small thing. Nope, that thing was loaded. That's what I'm getting next time. That thing was loaded. It looks so good. So we had Dolly's Donuts and it was great. It was a great time. You know, I mean, great service, great people. And then because it's right behind the movie theater, we just walk right over to the movie theater, and then we watch Scream 6. Now, I didn't watch the last one. I didn't watch the revised, I guess, revision of Scream. I didn't watch it. Partly because I wasn't a big Ghostface guy. I like Ghostface as a character, but I wasn't like Die Hard. And I'm not Die Hard horror anyway, but it wasn't something that was like, I gotta go watch that, right? It wasn't like Creed 3 where I was like, I love the Creed series. I love Rocky. Gotta go watch it, right? It wasn't like that, but I'm glad we went. I really enjoyed Scream 6. It was a slasher, right? When you think about Ghostface, when you think about the stab movies within Scream, the way they intro their movies every time, it almost feels like you're in deep into the movie, but it's like, yo, that was just the intro. Man, they did it good. They did it so good. The death scenes were done really good. The intensity of slashers, right? It's like, yo, are they gonna get away? Are they gonna get stabbed? How's this gonna work out, right? And there was a lot of those moments. And the thing about slasher movies is like, especially the Scream series, you don't know who's the killer, right? That's something you have to figure out, because it's always somebody within the group. It's always somebody within the close range of who we've been following in the movie. And I won't spoil anything because it's still fresh, it's still new. But there's reoccurring characters that pop up, and there's reoccurring storylines that pop up that just make it that much better. The movie was starring Jenna Ortega, who's coming off of that huge year she had with that movie Wednesday on Netflix, right? She played Wednesday Addams, and she just took over, right? TikTok, she was everywhere. She was viral everywhere. Bing bong, she's everywhere. Well, I feel like Scream 6 was filmed before Wednesday, because I didn't feel like she was like the main person. That was definitely Melissa Barrera. I feel like that she was definitely the main focus of the movie. Now, don't get me wrong. Jenna Ortega was there. She's definitely the sister. She has a big part in the movie. But I feel like in Scream 7, I feel like Jenna Ortega has to step into the light just because of her stardom. Like, she's a star. You know what I mean? Courtney Cox made an appearance. IMDb gave this a 7.2 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 77, which is a pretty solid average score. And I would mirror that. I would give it a 7 out of 10. It wasn't like spectacular. It wasn't like, yo, jaw dropping, you know what I mean? But it was dope. I really enjoyed it. I highly suggest you check it out in the movie theater. Don't do the couch potato. Go to a movie theater. Go watch it on the big screen. The way that it was intended. And that's what all these actresses and actors are saying now before the movie. If you go to the movie and you watch it, that's what they tell you before. Hey, thank you for your purchase. This movie was intended for you to see it on the big screen. So we hope you enjoy it. Right. And it's the truth, man. I know that if we watched it at home, yeah, it would still be great, but just the atmosphere is really dope. I seen it was going viral for a minute where in one of the screenings you had to actually scream. I think it was the premiere in like a different country or something. You had to actually scream to get the little meter to go up for the movie to start. So all the spectators, they had to literally scream to get this bar to go up. So I knew that going in. I was like, yo, are we gonna have to scream to make this movie play? Because if so, it's gonna be awkward because there's only probably about 6 people in the movie theater right now. It's like me, my wife, my son, and then there was like a little like 13, 15-year-old getting his little willy sucked over there in the corner, and then like an old couple, right? It's like, man, we ain't really gonna be able to make that much noise. But thank goodness there was no scream meter, and we're able to watch the movie fine. Check it out, Scream 6. It's so good. I probably would go watch it again. I'm not gonna lie. So for those of you that don't know, I am working with the 360 Society, our gang. That's our group. That's what we call ourselves. And we work with legendary hip hop historian, comedian, DJ, Cypher Sounds. Well, Cypher, he was in Houston. It wasn't even for South by Southwest. It was a party that he does every year or whatever. And he went viral. He went viral with Dave Chappelle, Reggie, right, Redman, Just Blaze. Who else was there? Scratch Bassett was there. Jazzy Jeff was there. Everybody was there. And he shared this on his podcast, the latest episode of Wanep is Life. If you have not checked out and tapped into Wanep, definitely go check it out. I gotta play this clip though, and hopefully you don't get mad. Hopefully I don't get flagged for playing this, but hey, I'm sure you would give me permission if I talk to you about it. But listen to this. Listen to Dave Chappelle. This moment in hip hop history is incredible.
And even this is exciting to see. Look at Redman telling these great DJs what to do. Fuck you, Cypher Sounds. I told you to do stand-up comedy. This nigga's actually got good. He used to be the DJ on Chappelle's show.
Pretty incredible, man.
Yo, Austin, Texas. This is hip-hop. Make some noise for Redman. Wait, before you say
Just Blaze just tried to get it popping.
Redman queued the record up for the DJ. This nigga's gonna be stacking chairs after the show. Let's go.
Redman queued the record up for the DJ.
What we doing, Cypher Sound?
There's Redman.
Oh.
There's my brother Cypher.
They don't know that shit. Let's go, Cypher. Hey. Yo. Microphone check. I walk around the street with the black tech 9 by the waistline. Getting the hype shit. Yo, I never claimed to be the best type of rapper, but have to show you motherfuckers what I'm after. Whoa, Cypher Sounds don't get gas, nigga. I'm after the boom. I got the platinum. Beef after that. Cypher Sounds back to get son. Chicken bang. Yo, Buster slang with my name.
Oh, so ill. So the whole thing, he tells the whole story on Wanep. Go check it out. But it was that moment where I was like, yo, this is ill. So my suggestion for you is go on to Wanep as Life. Just put it in your podcast directory. Go check it out. Listen to this story about how dope this hip hop moment was, because there's not a lot of moments in hip hop that happen like that, where it was all impromptu. You have you have legends, Just Blaze, Redman. You got Dave Chappelle on the mic just conducting this whole thing. It's incredible, man. The story gave me chills. And even if you're not a hip hop fan, listen to the story that he tells. Plus, Wind Up's just a great podcast. Go check it out.
Hey, yo, you're probably listening to the Unrestricted Podcast with DreRawka.
We are?
No, they are.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Oh, wow.
And I'm the real Ruby. You can catch me and Fonzie and
the Funk.
G Daddy Funk on Lake Talk 801 Podcast.
Yeah, but I think you have to come in more smoother, more funnier. Yeah, they could catch us on the Lake Talk 801 podcast.
Yeah, y'all can catch us on the Lake Talk 801.
Yeah, and be like, and yeah, man, hey, and they could catch people like me, the real Ruby, and people like you, Fonzie, and people like him, G Daddy Funk, on the Lake Talk 801. Who cares?
What did he say?
Huh?
I didn't hear him.
I don't know, but this probably should be the ad.
Are these on?
I don't know.
Catch a new episode every Monday on all streaming platforms. The Lake Talk 801. Tune in now.
Carl Malone is a traitor. John Jones is the greatest of all time, but cocaine is a hell of a drug. It's your sports segment.
UFC 287 all goes down April 8th in Miami, Florida. This is the rematch. This is the fourth time, second time in the UFC, but fourth time Alex Pereira and Izzy Adesanya has fought. Last time, as you know, it was Pereira winning by TKO. He stopped Adesanya after Adesanya was putting it on him. He dug deep. He got the win. So now we get to see. This is the rebuttal. This is it. All chips lie right here. If Adesanya wins, maybe we get a rematch, depending on if it's a close one, right? This is a big match. This is a big fight. UFC is giving us all of the gold in 2023. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because of the slap boxing. I don't know why. But we are getting everything, and I love it. So UFC, keep on giving it. All right. Co-main event is a welterweight bout between the baddest motherfucker out there. Well, the one that won the belt, at least. Jorge Masvidal. I love Jorge. I love what he stands for. And just being a bad mother lover. And Gilbert Burns, another bad mother lover from Brazil. So in this one, oh, by the way, main event, I got to roll with Izzy. Izzy's my guy. I won't pick against my favorites no more. I did that against John Jones because I had a bad feeling and I was completely wrong. But this one, Izzy, you are my guy. I got a good feeling about this. You put it on him in that first fight. You put it on him in that second fight. You just got to, you know what I mean, do what you do. You a fighter. Do what you do. Go get that win. So I got Izzy on that one. Co-main, I'm going to rock with Gilbert Burns. I think Gilbert Burns gets it done quick. Nah, that not quick. Second round. I think second round it'll be done. Unless he's trying to get a fight of the night. Then he might let it go a little bit longer. But I'm definitely going for Gilbert Burns. Then we got a bantamweight fight from Rob Font and Adrian Yanez. Rob Font, I haven't seen him fight in a while. I'm going to go with Rob Font. Welterweight fight. Kevin Holland is back against Santiago Ponzinibbio. Going Kevin Holland on that one. And then setting it all off with another bantamweight fight. It's Rui Rojas Jr. versus Christian Rodriguez. Now, this is the one that a lot of people are interested in because Rui is a Rule. How do you pronounce his name? Rui. He comes from the Challenger Series, so it's a young man. You know what I mean? He just bought his mom a van. I want to see this dude go. Rui Rodriguez is no joke though, so we'll see what happens there. UFC 287. If you want to come watch it with me, I'll be at a bar named Sue, 8136 South State Street. It's always a good time. Come watch the fights with me. The NBA playoffs are coming up. So as it stands right now, if they were to start right now, the Utah Jazz, and again, I'm saying the Utah Jazz first because I'm in Utah. A lot of my listenership is from Utah. The Utah Jazz would be in the play-in tournament against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, I think the Jazz have a good chance against the Thunder as long as they're healthy, right? As long as they got Lauri Markkanen. It's crazy though to see Dallas in the play-in tournament, Minnesota in the play-in tournament, Toronto, Chicago, Miami, Atlanta. A lot of those teams were top teams just a few years ago, so it's kind of crazy to see that. But as it looks right now with the play-in tournament, I mean, I don't see nobody beating the Bucks. I think the Bucks are the heavy hitters. I think it might dwindle down to the Bucks and the Celtics in the East. In the West, Denver's just solid and tough. Denver is that solid, tough team. You can't count Golden State out. So we'll see. But I would not be surprised if we didn't see Denver and the Bucks, and I don't see Denver beating the Bucks. Sorry. Joker might be MVP, but hey, MVP of the finals is going to be Giannis. Man, you know what sounds really good? Just some chips and salsa.
You want the best salsa ever? Get yourself some Sauce Up Salsa at sauceupsalsa.com. Fresh fire roasted salsa, fresh ingredients, fresh produce made just for you.
If you're a sports athlete looking for a mouthguard to protect your pearly whites, look no further than All Sports Mouthguards.
All Sports Mouthguards, located in West Jordan, Utah. Come visit us, 1385 West, 9000 South in West Jordan, Utah. We offer high quality, made in the USA, custom molded and custom designed mouthguards.
All right, that's it. That's all your bitch ass gets.
All right, that's all you get. DreRawka, Isolation20 Podcast, episode number 70. Even though there was a couple that we didn't count because I didn't do visuals for, but it's all right. Episode number 70. Make sure you're going to get some merch. allrock.com, ALLRAWK.com. Thank you to anybody and everybody that has made a purchase and bought a shirt, a hoodie. Host Beefy, he wore it to the workouts on the Sunday workouts. It looked amazing. The yellow, I was like, damn, man, I got to get the yellow. The yellow looked popping. So definitely go check out the website, get some merch on you. And yeah, man, again, I just appreciate the support, the love. It's been a great journey this year so far, man. We're 3 months into this year, and man, time does not stop, man. Time does not stop. It only feels like it's going faster and quicker and swifter, and throws a lot more monkey wrenches at you as you get older. And man, you just gotta, just ride this wave, man. Just ride this wave of life, and don't take it too serious. And these are things I know I'm talking to you, but I'm also talking to myself right now. And I always tell myself, like, you can't change the inevitable for anyone. You can't change what's already destined, but what you can change is your attitude and what you can do for others, right? So if I feel myself getting discouraged, or if I feel myself getting angry, or if I feel myself getting too happy, I need to center myself and be like, dog, like, chill out. You know what I mean? So hopefully you do the same. Hopefully you continue to have great things happen in your life. And I will catch you on the next Isolation20 podcast. Don't forget to go check out Unrestricted with Blake O'Reilly. So Blake is a really cool dude. Blake, he's the play-by-play commentator for Fierce Fighting Championship, which is one of the biggest fight promotions here in Utah. Had a really good time with him. Really quick, some upcoming dates. So this Saturday, March 25th, I'll be at a bar named Sue, 8136 South State Street. Just got called in to come cover for that one. And then Friday, March 31st, I will be at the Chakra Lounge with Bad Boy Brian. So if you want to come party with us, you know what to do. Check out my Instagram, DreRawka. It's going to be a great time. And then I'll be at a bar named Sue again on April 8th. A couple more dates in April that I'm waiting that are pending, that should be locked in here soon. But yeah, man, I'm out, man. I'm about to go home and play some WWE with my son and probably give him a pow right in the kisser a couple times. All right. I love y'all. Hope you have the day you deserve. Protect your light. We out. Peace.